Hello YouTube, Wes here, checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where we talk about the albums that I've recently been listening to, stuff that I've brought in from various places, online purchases or thrift stores or record stores. All of it ends up in a big pile and I sort of work my way through it, and the stuff I like and I want to keep ends up in the collection back here, and the stuff I don't like ends up going away. So everything in the collection is stuff I've listened to and decided I want to keep. I don't really ever file anything away without listening to it first, so that way I know I've heard everything and I know what I have is what I like. So that's how I do things. That's how we're going to get into this episode. As always, 10 records to talk about each episode. If you're new to the channel, like what I'm doing, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, whatever it is. Hi to all my old subscribers, old followers. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you are enjoying the videos. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. First album I have to talk about today is an 80s soundtrack to the movie Hiding Out from 1987. Just a really good mix of 80s pop rock kind of stuff. Probably the best known song on here is Catch Me I'm Falling by Pretty Poison. But you also got Boy George is on here. Roy Orbison and Katie Lang do a duet of Crying, which is pretty cool. Public Image Limited is on here as well, and a bunch of other artists that I'm not real familiar with, but it's just a really nice mix of 80s pop rock kind of stuff. Interesting if you just want to put on an 80s kind of sounding thing without having a bunch of really big hits from the 80s. You know, with the exception of Catch Me I'm Falling, the rest of these tracks are probably new to most of you. They were new to me, and yeah, I enjoyed hearing this. I haven't seen the movie yet, don't know what it's about. It's just on the Virgin label with the black and blue triangle sticker there, or label. So the soundtrack to Hiding Out gets a thumbs up from me, and it's staying in the collection. All right, moving on into a bit of jazz. We have an album from George Benson titled Space, 1976, I believe is the date on this one. Yeah, just some really good guitar-based sort of light fusion-y jazz. I kind of call this Sunday morning jazz. You know, you're sitting around reading the paper, drinking your coffee, just relaxing on a Sunday morning, and this is what you want in the background. Just some nice, really nice guitar picking that's really pleasant and airy sounding, and just a really interesting album from George Benson. If you like George Benson, you'll probably like this. It's pretty good stuff. There's the gatefold as well. Also has Hubert Laws, Eric Gale, Randy Brecker. Those are the most well-known people on here. Nice album from George Benson. As I said, some nice sort of Sunday morning jazz. So that one is a keeper for me, staying in the collection. Thumbs up. All right, next up I have a bit of, I don't really know how to classify this. It's sort of indie singer-songwriter rock. It's really hard to describe, but it's very much lyric-based, indie rock kind of stuff. Geez, it's tough to describe, but it is My Girlfriend Is Melting by Miguel Mendes from 2005. Really cool artwork on this one. It's kind of a modern take on a British singer-songwriter, folksy kind of thing. Somewhat sort of brash and loud and sometimes psychedelic. Yeah, I'm having a really tough time describing it. But it is interesting musically. Some of the songs are much more mellow. Some of the songs are very brash and hard and in your face. And that's on Eye and Ear Records. He did this at home, sort of just a home studio sort of recording thing. Played most of the instruments himself. Kind of one of those kind of things where it's very raw. It doesn't sound amateurish. I mean, it sounds good. It's well recorded, but yeah, just sort of one of those very much home recording kind of things, where it's very organic, I guess you could say. So that's Miguel Mendes with My Girlfriend Is Melting from 2005. I like this one. I'm going to keep it. It's a thumbs up for me. All right, next thing I have to talk about is a funk rock band from the 70s. What's the date? 1977 is the date on this one. That is the self-titled album from the band Shotgun. As I said, they're very much a funk rock kind of sound, kind of band. A little bit disco-y at times, but yeah, overall, I just was kind of ho-hum on this one. I didn't really feel it. Wasn't really digging it very much. It was a bit too soft. It wasn't funky enough for me. I think it just wasn't. Didn't do it for me. It's a little bit more rock and roll than funk at times, but it just never really went anywhere for me. It's on the ABC Records label. Yeah, I mean, it has some great track listings on here, great track names, but it just never goes anywhere for me. It just doesn't work. You got Concrete Jungle, Get Down with the Get Down, Mother Funk, Shady Lady, Dynamite, The Bomb. Yeah, so unfortunately, Shotgun was a thumbs down for me. I didn't like it. It's not going to be staying in the collection. All right, next thing we have here is a live album from the prog band It's a Beautiful Day. This is their live album from Carnegie Hall. 1972 is the date on this one. Very nice live performance from the band. Of course, they do their big hit White Bird, but also a really cool version of Bombay Calling on here. Really nice and long. Really awesome performance from them. The recording on this is not the greatest. It's kind of boomy and echoey and not real high quality, but the music shines through. They did a really good set here. Really tight sounding and really awesome jams on here. There's a photo from the concert, I'm guessing. Columbia red and orange label there. Yeah, so It's a Beautiful Day at Carnegie Hall. It's thumbs up from me. As I said, the recording quality is not great, but the performance is really great. And that's why I'm going to keep this one, because it's a great performance and it's a great sort of refreshing way to listen to It's a Beautiful Day without, pulling out the self-titled album and playing that over and over again. So yeah, just a really good performance. All right, next thing I have to talk about is a 12-inch from the 80s. This is the 12-inch version of Bronski Beat's Small Town Boy. 1984 is the date on this one. Of course, Small Town Boy was from the Age of Consent, the debut album from Bronski Beat. This also features two B-sides, Infatuation and Memories, which would later appear on the Hundreds and Thousands remix album. So yeah, just nice 12-inch single. Don't really normally collect 12 inches, but when it's something like this that I really love, I'm gonna pick it up if I find it for a good price. And of course, it is an extended version of Small Town Boy as well, which is nice to have. It's just on the MCA Records label. All right, next up, a bit of 80s hip-hop now. This is, I believe, the second album from the band The Skinny Boys. This is their album titled Skinny and Proud, 1987, I think. Yes, 1987 is the date on this one. Just sort of an East Coast hip-hop group. They did a little bit of a jokey kind of thing, playing off of the Fat Boys kind of thing, but they were pretty good, actually. A pretty good group here. I really enjoyed this one. I liken them a little bit more to Run DMC than I do the Fat Boys. They have more of a Run DMC kind of sound, in my opinion. Yeah, good stuff. If you like 80s hip-hop, if you like Run DMC, if you like the Fat Boys, those kind of groups, you probably like these guys. Is on the Jive Records label. So Skinny Boys, Skinny and Proud, dug it, thumbs up for me, and that's going in the collection. Okay, next thing I have to talk about is an album by the band War. This is their album titled Galaxy. 1977 is the date on this one. Awesome album. I wasn't really expecting much from this. I was warned ahead of time that this album was their disco album, which it's somewhat disco-y, but it's a lot more organic than that, I would say. It's really good. I was really impressed. I like this album a lot. yeah, a lot more organic than a traditional disco album, in my opinion. It just has more of a natural kind of feel, and it really jams along, and some really great tracks on here, nice long tracks. There's only like, what, 5 tracks on here. It's awesome. So yeah, I really dug that one a lot. Another photo of the band on the original inner sleeve here, and then the lyrics and liner notes, and that's on the MCA Records label. So yeah, Galaxy by War. I wasn't expecting to like it, but I actually ended up loving it, and that's a thumbs up for me. That's a keeper for me, definitely. Really enjoyed this. Really good music. All right, next up, a little bit of soul music here. This is Van Morrison with A Period of Transition. 1977 is the date on this one as well. Staying in the 77 era here. Yeah, just some good old Van Morrison bluesy kind of stuff. Sunday morning blues, I guess you could say. Very cool and calm and relaxed and chill kind of blues music here. Good stuff, good songs. Probably best known for the track It Fills You Up. Heard that one before. But a good solid album through and through. And this one's just on the Palm Tree Warner Brothers label. So A Period of Transition by Van Morrison. Thumbs up for me. I liked it a lot. Staying in the collection. Okay, and last but not least, we have a piece here from the band The Nice, featuring Keith Emerson. This is, of course, 5 Bridges. With this epic Hypnosis cover, very classic Hypnosis cover, one of their better ones, better known ones. The music here, Keith Emerson does classical music, is kind of the theme here. He was commissioned to do this piece by an arts festival. Let's see here. It's the Newcastle Arts Festival, 1969, I believe is the date when he did this. Very interesting classical music from Keith Emerson, but it still has sort of that ELP and The Nice kind of sound, where it's a bit rock and roll and classical blended together. Really cool, really strong compositions, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the music here. Really interesting that he was able to do this and put it together, and definitely is Keith Emerson sort of prominently featured here. There's a picture of a live performance at the Arts Festival, Fairfield Halls, Croydon, October 17th, 1969. Killer album, really enjoyed hearing this. As I said, classical and rock and roll blended together, and this pressing I have here is on the Mercury label. 5 Bridges by The Nice, featuring Keith Emerson. Definitely a big thumbs up for me. Really enjoyed it. If you like prog with a bit of classical, or with a lot of classical, I should say. Really interesting stuff and really cool, and definitely a thumbs up, staying in the collection. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. 9 of them survived, 1 of them didn't. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. As I said, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great day. Cheers.